So it looks kind of weird because I'm hiding all of my bones in a Crown Royale bag, but actually you can use a red satchel, a box. It's just up to you. For some reason, I just love the purple Crown Royale Chateau Ghetto bag. That's just how I like to store my bones. That's just me. This is what I actually will prepare to throw my bones with. It's a weave basket. I actually bought this like a month ago. Let me just put it up just like this. My old basket finally just got too old, but it was gorgeous. It was a Kenyan basket. I think this is something else, but it works fine with me. You can see in the back. So it was woven quite nicely. And so this is what I use to feed my bones, and this is what I actually use to throw them. Okay? So I want you guys to have an idea. Let me throw down all the bones. Yay! Turn up. Okay. You can look. So I'm about to explain bone readings so you guys can have an understanding. I know you guys are like, so where are the bones? So I'll be explaining, okay? Bone readings are ancient, okay? That's the first thing I want you guys to really understand, is that bone readings are ancient, okay? It's not just one race of people practicing bone readings. Bone readings are practiced in Alaska, all the way down to New Zealand, all the way to Africa, even in Haiti. So I've seen people read, like, I think it was a bone of a goat. And so bone reading is most definitely a form of divination that is, it's basically a common human thread. Mostly all continents on this earth, all countries have practiced some form of bone readings. Okay, so what am I going to pick from this bag of goodies? Let me see. Okay. I'm going to pick the face of the Joker, and then I'm about to explain it, okay? Okay, so this is a face that I actually got from, where did I get this? I think I got this from a yard sale, and it was literally a box of these trinkets that you could make your ring with. So I was like, hell, I can use these in my bone readings. Like, it even has a small hole where you can turn it into like a simple necklace, but the lady told me that she actually used them to make rings. But when I immediately saw this, it reminded me of the face of the Joker. Somebody who is not who they seem to be. Someone who is presenting you one thing, but is really doing the other. And really, she says it's a African mask, I think from Ghana. But with my perception, I don't see it as that. I actually see it as a face of a Joker. So that's another thing. They may tell you it's something else, but you may see it as something completely different. So it's really good to use your intuition and feel it out. But if I get this card, if I get this trinket, this is telling me that it depends on where it falls and what position it's in. This is telling me that you're being played, or someone is a wolves in sheep's clothing, or someone is holding a mask and you can't see it. Sometimes it's yourself. It could be that you're not being genuine with yourself. It's just depending. Like, it's the same concept with how tarot, here it is, with how tarot is made. In order to interpret, you have to be able to understand how the cards around. So it's the same concept with reading bones. You have to read what is around it. So most definitely, if it's face down, it's telling me that it's not significant, or it's not as, but if it's still positioned in a certain way, it may be telling me that, girl or boy, you got a hater in your circle, or someone who will soon come to reveal who they are. And so right now they're hiding. And again, this depends on where the bones and how they're actually positioned in your throw. I guess I just want to pick all of the shiny stuff. This is a American penny. Something that isn't worth shit. I mean, I'm just kidding. Like, I literally throw pennies now, like, on the floor. Like, I sweep them up and throw them away. But my grandmother always told me that was bad luck. But it's a penny. But this is a penny, and it has Abraham Lincoln in the front. These pennies, to me, I mean, it's so shiny, guys. You know what? I'm just going to have to, like, lean it like this. Sorry. These pennies represent to me a few things. It represents some type of authority figure, like your boss, your father, someone who may have some type of power over you. But when I see this reminds me of going to work, like a official building, a official sheet of paper, law, something going on with the like law. But this always represents a male energy who is has authority over your life. This is also, which means little money. So it means to me that you may be getting some money. So if this falls under, let me get this real quick, hold on. I guess I just want to pick all of the shiny stuff. This is a American penny. Something that isn't worth shit. I mean, I'm just kidding. Like, I literally throw pennies now, like, on the floor. Like, I sweep them up and throw them away. But my grandmother always told me that was bad luck. But it's a penny. But this is a penny, and it has Abraham Lincoln in the front. These pennies, to me, I mean, it's so shiny, guys. You know what? I'm just going to have to, like, lean it like this. Sorry. These pennies represent to me a few things. It represents some type of authority figure, like your boss, your father, someone who may have some type of power over you. But when I see this reminds me of going to work, like a official building, a official sheet of paper, law, something going on with the like law. But this always represents a male energy who is has authority over your life. This is also, which means little money. So it means to me that you may be getting some money. So if this falls under, let me get this real quick, hold on. So let's say this falls on top of this. So if the skull, let me see, if the skull candle falls on top of this, the skull candle only represents one thing. It represents your ancestors. I don't care. It does not, it represents spirit, but only within the ancestral form. So when this falls on top of here, this is either telling me that you have a male authority who is a ancestor from your past. It may be telling you that it's an ancestor from the male side of your family, which is your fathers. It may be telling you that this is an ancestor who is warning you about a male. It just depends on how it falls. You see what I'm saying? Some people say, how can you tell what they are trying to say? Because as you can see, there are many general meanings. Well, this is what separates the talented from the folks who don't really have talent in reading. There has to be a very strong intuitive pull, or you literally have to hear them. You have to hear the ancestors. This is what separates technique from talent. Okay? Talent is when you actually have the gift to actually hear. Many people think that they can learn, you can learn this and do it, but for those who are highly gifted, they will hear the ancestors. They will feel the ancestors, and their tongue will speak of what the ancestors have said. This is not for everybody. If you don't have the gift of divination and being able to read different tools, then this may not be for you. Okay, so basically, or your ancestor may be coming to you and telling you, look, we're bringing you some money, or hey, pay attention to what's going on at your job, or they want to help you with situations at your job. Okay, I'm going to use a third example. Okay, so guys, here it is here. If you have a bell, I'm trying to make it ring, and you have dice. Dice to me always represents risk, or it always represents the probability of something that will happen. Let's say that you ask about, me and my husband are trying to purchase a home, and we just want to buy it in June, and we're just wondering, will the actual closing happen in June? If this falls, and let's just say the bell is right here. Obviously, the bell, I don't care where it falls, it's falling on somewhere that you need to pay attention. The bell also represents other things, but I'll talk about that later. But basically, you're being warned. So it's like, or you're being told, hey, pay attention because your probability is not very high. So you may want to look for other homes, or you may have obstacles in purchasing your home, or you may not have enough money, or you may not have planned like how you should have. But again, the best interpretation will come from your intuition, or you actually hearing the voices of your ancestors. Now, if you're mentally ill, this is not for you. If you're not mentally stable, this is not for you. If you're just straight up batshit crazy, this is not for you, because you will be giving people the wrong guidance and the wrong advice. This is not for the weak-minded or those who truly do not have the gift. Now, there is a technique. If you're not really gifted in communicating with spirit, or have a developed sense of intuition. So if you're having a hard time with the intuition part, at least have that. We're all intuitive. That's God's voice inside of us telling us something. What you'll need to do is get as many trinkets to represent every aspect of somebody's life. So when they fall close, also, there's a table or a guide that you can build on your mat, which is the second part of this video. Is the mat will tell you what is the actual problem area, or the areas that need to be looked at. I take my bone readings fucking seriously, okay? Too many people out here are reading and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. and they've had, excuse me, no real proper training. They just read a book and now they're bone readers. You're giving, I have seen a woman do a tarot card reading and give a man who looked like he belonged in a fucking institution that it's okay for him to work around children. No, the fuck it is not okay. This is not a game. This is not a quick way to make a few dollars. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Sit your ass down somewhere. Because really, only the ones who truly want to learn and develop their intuition and help others need to be doing this. Not the idiots I've been seeing who don't know what they're doing. Guiding people is not a game. It's not a way to make a quick buck. So if you're trying to just make some quick money, you need to step out of the game. So what I want you guys to know is that I do clean my bones, because you don't want to move on from one reading to the next holding on to somebody else's energy. Whenever a throw is funny, it's either telling me that there's a blockage, a spiritual blockage, or that something ain't right. So what I will do is I'll go to my cowrie shells, and that black stuff you see is smoke. I feed my shells, which I'm about to feed them now because they're looking kind of parched right now. So I feed them, okay, and I throw them. I start asking questions. Is there a blockage? What is going on? So whenever somebody's throw is just weird as fuck, or something just isn't right, like if you keep throwing a throw and it just doesn't make any sense. Most throws make sense, but I have come across one or two people who something was just weird, and that's a whole other story. But this is really how I read when I'm trying to get confirmation on whatever happened over here. I get confirmation here. Also, when you're asking the shells questions, people don't really know how to ask questions. They ask really weird questions, and or they ask the wrong type of question. Yeah, so basically, let us the next video that I post is going to be me actually throwing the bones on the ground. Okay, bye.